We've been saying this for a few weeks now, but there seems still to be no end in sight to the fallout over wages between the public sector unions and government. There's been a rejection of what government says is a 7.5% workers' increase offer, which they've in fact already begun to initiate. Well, in a statement, government has reaffirmed its offer at a 3% baseline level with an additional 4.5% in benefits. The public sector unions are preparing to down tools on Tuesday in what they call a day of action. Let's speak about this with Dr. Lufuno Mulaudzi, President of the Public Servants Association. A very good afternoon to you, Doctor. Thank you for your time. So we're edging closer to Tuesday. What is your game plan?
Tembekile, thank you very much, and thank you for having me. Tembekile, you'll remember that as PSA, we embarked on a march to Treasury. In fact, it was supposed to be the march to the presidency on Thursday, the 10th of November, to hand over a memorandum with a list of demands. We have since received a very, very ridiculous response from the Treasury yesterday. And then remember we said that if they don't respond positively, we will not hesitate to take our members to the streets again and continue with picketing and also embark on stay-aways. So what is happening on Tuesday emanates from what happened at PSCBC during the week, where COSATU affiliates and FEDUSA affiliates, including ourselves, had a meeting at the Public Service Coordinating Bargaining Council here in Centurion, Pretoria, where they resolved that they are going to embark on a strike on Tuesday, sort of like stay away of some sort and a strike. But that process, it is parallel to the process of PSA of handing over the memorandum, which we received the response from Treasury yesterday. But we'll appeal to our members to participate in what is going to happen on Tuesday.
Right. So as you and I are speaking, you got a response from Treasury, says the PSA, yesterday, and you're more determined than ever to continue with your protest action come Tuesday, right? The Public Service and Administration Ministry has, in fact, fired out another statement today, and in it, it basically accuses you, the unions, of lying, because it says here that Minister Nxesi wants to set the record straight on untruths, misinformation and propaganda driven by some in organized labor over the government salary offer through the media. For instance, he says here that here are the facts. The 1,000 Rand monthly non-pensionable allowance is actually an increase. He says that there are some in the leadership of organized labor who misrepresent this as not being an increase. It is an increase. He then says the non-pensionable cash allowance of 1,000 Rand is actually an outcome of the wage negotiations in the year 2021-2022. Your response?
You know, I'm not surprised with Comrade Tulas. You'll remember that Tulas was not the Minister of, in fact, even now, he's not the Minister of Public Service and Administration. And for him to come out and utter such a reckless statement, it shows what kind of people we are dealing with. And I'm very disappointed with him because he was a unionist. When you are a unionist and you come up with such reckless statements, it's very, very, very disappointing. Tulas is not aware that the 1,000 gratuity emanates from the fact that the government was not willing to give public servants what they were asking for last year when we were negotiating. In fact, we have been fighting these people for quite some time, and then we reached a settlement that on top of what you are giving, give our members a 1,000 gratuity, which will remain until the next leg of negotiation, which is 2023, the one that now they offer this ridiculous 3%. And then if whatever they put on offer, it's not what is appealing to us as labor, it means that the 1,000 gratuity will continue. But for him now to come and say the 1,000 gratuity is part of 3%, is just ridiculous. And then it's disappointing that you have such kind of statement coming from him. And another thing that, yes.
Just on the issue of the 3%. So government says the 1,000 rand is over and above the 3% because you guys have a baseline increase of 3%, and then the other 4.5% is made up of sweeteners such as this 1,000 rand allowance. And if it's money in the pockets of workers, how is it not an increase?
Let me take you back to Tembekile. You'll remember that in 2018, the government signed a multi-term wage agreement, which has 3 phases. They implemented 2 phases. It was a signed agreement. The last phase, they chickened out and pleaded poverty. We had to take them to court. Unfortunately, the Constitutional Court ruled in their favor, which was very, very surprising to us. That how do you rule in favor of somebody who signed something not under duress, and then you support such kind of a person? Then because of that, the 1,000 gratuity came. It came not as an increment. It came as sort of a compensation to the government employees who were not getting anything, and for them to mention it as 4.5% is quite ridiculous and very shocking, and it shows that we are dealing with people who are very arrogant.
But how can you even begin to make progress as Labour and government when even on the interpretation or reading of the package you have such varying positions, such different positions?
No. As Labour, we are very clear. You understand that what is coming from Labour is very consistent. That this 1,000 gratuity is not part of the percentage, and you put it correctly so to say it's non-pensionable. As Labour, we demand an increment that is pensionable. So it's government that is confusing things, and it's government that is confusing things to get sympathy from the public, because public in general, they are not informed. So when acting Minister Nesi came out in the media to say we are offering public 7.5%, to a layman in the street, he will agree with Nesi and say this is correct. These people are becoming over ambitious, or they are very greedy, when in actual fact that is not true.
Let's explain for a moment, pardon me, sir, why a pensionable increase for workers makes more sense than a non-pensionable allocation.
Okay, let me address it in this way. Let's talk about, since you are more focused on this 1,000 gratuity. You know that come 31st March, these government employees will not be receiving this 1,000. They have been having this 1,000 in their budget for now. It's going to be 2 years, and when they don't get it anymore, it places burden on these people, because they will not be able to afford to take care of their families. And then when we said we need pensionable kind of an increment, it means that if you say you offer them 7.5%, which is pensionable, at the end of the day, when these people goes into retirement, they get something coming from what the government is offering in terms of increase. But if you are saying it's non-pensionable, it means that they don't get anything at the end of their days in the public service. Hence, we are saying this thing of saying 7.5% is very misleading, and then we cannot tolerate such kind of attitude coming from the government. But I wanted to address something before your next question, if we are still continuing.
Please continue,
I wanted to address this, which shows that there is lack of being decisive in the government. You'll remember Minister Ayanda Dlodlo, who was the Minister of Public Service and Administration. She left to join, I think it's World Bank, if I'm not making a mistake. It's been almost, she joined that institution immediately after the Labour Summit, which we had at Emperor's Palace. Since she left, the president didn't appoint a minister, a permanent minister. Minister Ngesi is Minister of Labour. So how do you expect somebody who is acting to take decisions? Because he will always say he's acting, I'm acting. And you cannot have somebody acting for more than 5 months in that crucial department. It shows that we have a crisis of leadership in our country.
Thank you very much.
That's why you see public servants and government are at loggerheads. It's because the president is failing to appoint somebody who is going to be accountable. How can Tulas be accountable when he's acting? Tulas will come up with this rhetoric of saying it's 7.5% because he doesn't even understand what he's talking about.
Dr. Lufuno Mulaudzi, thank you for your time, sir.